Hello everyone, today I'm ranking every single LEGO theme. That's right, every single LEGO theme. I didn't look through this list yet, so there might be a few that are left out, but this appears pretty complete. So we're gonna go start at the top and work our way down. Hopefully the audio is alright. It's not the best, I'm using my old microphone, but it does the job. So, okay, alright, first up we've got LEGO Ninjago Movie. I'm a little bit biased about this theme because I own pretty much the whole theme, and I really liked it when it came out, and it gives me a lot of memories and stuff. I think it was 2018. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in B tier. There's some good sets and stuff, but after that, I think the Ninja switched up in the shows and stuff to match the style of the Ninjago Movie, and I really didn't like that, so that's why it's going in B tier. Overall, there's some really interesting sets and stuff. All right, next up, Blacktron. This is a classic old space theme from the 80s. Got the trains yellow and black and trains red, I think. So really cool color scheme, and some of the sets were just crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one. I don't know. I'm probably gonna do A tier on that one. All right, LEGO Movie. Again, I'm pretty biased on this one. In like 2014 and stuff, I think I still own pretty much every single set from the theme, so I'm missing a few. But yeah, I've got most of them, and it's honestly a great theme, great movie. So I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'm debating A or B. I'm gonna go A tier on that one. Next up, we got Castle. This in companies, I don't know if they go into the subgenres and stuff of like fantasy era and stuff. If that, I really like the fantasy era. That's my favorite bit of Castle. But I mean, you've got like Forestman and things like that. So since that kind of covers all of that, that's gonna be S tier. We've got Ninjago. Big fan of Ninjago. I started getting out of it about like 5 years ago and stuff, but I've really gotten into it lately. And Ninjago is actually not a bad theme, especially like some of the original sets and stuff have become increasingly rare, and not just like Ninjago isn't great for like just having a ninja set, but like collectors have really been getting into that stuff. I'm sure it also has to do with the kids who were into it originally are growing up and wanting to buy back their old sets and are driving the price up. So from a collector standpoint, it's becoming more of a collectible theme. I mean, there's so much to unpack Ninjago. It's going to go B tier along with the Ninjago Movie. We've got System. This is interesting because there's some Star Wars sets that are System. There are a lot of the pirate sets, some castle sets, I believe, Aquazone, a lot of those sets of the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s were System. So it's kind of hard to judge that one. I'm just going to go C tier because of that. Time Cruisers. This theme failed really bad, but I feel like it actually wasn't that bad of a theme. It was just kind of like a mixed match of everything, and there were elements from different themes that were incorporated into the sets, and I found that kind of interesting. It's kind of got a nostalgic feel to it from like the mid 90s, I think. So because the theme kind of failed and everything, and there weren't that many sets, I'm gonna put it on D tier, but I could also see people ranking it higher. All right, we've got Art. This is a newer theme. I don't know when this theme like started, but I just know they've been making a lot of the sets lately. I don't really know what fits into the art. I think it's like the mosaics, and the different paintings and stuff they've been doing. I'm not a big fan of those sets personally. I can see how people like them, but I like sets with like vehicles and minifigures and modulars and buildings and things like that. Not a big fan of like the botanical series or the botanical theme. So I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put that D tier. Alright, we've got Avatar. This is the not Avatar: The Last Airbender, though it is like a theme that should be on this list later. They've actually got some great sets, and it was unexpected. I never would have thought they would have made Lego Avatar. They really put a lot of work into the minifigures, bringing back the long legs and such. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one in B tier. Brickheads. I've never been a fan of those up until I bought about 4 last year, and I really enjoyed building them. I think in total I've got like 6 or 7. Not my favorite theme, probably because they don't have any minifigures, and they look kind of weird on top of that. I'll put them in C tier, just because, I don't know, they are good for displaying on shelves and stuff, and it's cool how they're numbered and stuff. What is this theme? Is this like the festival and stuff? Like, I have no clue what that is. I'm gonna put that down here and I'll get back to that later. We've got City. This is a good theme. You can't go wrong. There are some bad sets, but there's a ton of good sets from City. I think City peaked around like 2008 to 2012, which was kind of before and the beginning of getting into Lego. So I'm not super biased on that one because a lot of the sets, the best City sets and stuff came out, were already retired when I got into Lego. So I'm gonna put that one in. I almost want to put that in S tier, but I'm gonna put that in A tier. Classic. A lot of creativity. But not a big fan of. There's just like a lot of random pieces and stuff that don't really make sense if they just put like simple basic bricks and stuff, which I believe there are some sets. It's really hard to diss on this theme. I've never liked this theme. I prefer. I love building my own things and not just sets, but these pieces never were able to build what I wanted. I always wanted to build like Star Wars ships and things like that, and these are always like bright, colorful pieces, which to some people really cool. Not my thing. So I'm gonna put this one in E tier. Space. This is S tier. I don't need to do any explanation. Space. Speak. Creator. Again, for the same reasons of classics, or it's almost the same reason as classic. Creator, I never really got into. A lot of the sets is like a buildable like monkey or dragon or something, and I didn't really like that. It was really hard to build any like ships and stuff out of that stuff. A lot of like bright, colorful pieces again, and there was some good creators definitely gotten better with like the castles and stuff and theme park stuff they've done. So I'll do D tier. We've got DC. Okay, I'm a bigger fan of like the original Batman stuff. DC, I do own a lot of DC. I can't really hate it. We've got some good minifigures and some great sets out of the DC theme. So for that reason, it's going B tier. Friends. All right. Friends used to be like the builds and stuff were tailored for younger girls, and the storyline and everything. And I feel like the whole theme was built around the show and stuff. The builds were really weak. They've gotten a lot better lately. Like they've gone in. Let's see, what are some of the sets? They've got it's like the modulars and stuff. I think I really like those. And yes, they're bright, colorful and stuff, but I think they've done a great job on the builds instead of like the whole storyline. So Friends is gonna go B tier. Disney. Never been a fan of Disney really. Same with like any of the Lego sets. Never really been a big fan of any of those. So I'm going to put that in D tier. Don't hate me for that one. That's just my opinion. Dots. This was a creative theme. It could have really gone places, but I guess there wasn't as much of a demand for that theme, and therefore it failed after like a year or two. I think it went from like 2020 to 2021 or something, or 2021 to 2022. It didn't last long, and because of that, all the sets were like on clearance and stuff. With the bright colored pieces, there aren't really much you can do with them. However, they did have like some cool colored tiles and stuff that could be used as like rivers of stuff with like slime, because they had like the trans neon green quarter tiles. Those are pretty cool. But yeah, not a lot came out of that theme. The bracelets and stuff were pretty lame, for me anyway. I can see some people really liking that, like girls and stuff, like younger girls, but they really didn't have that audience. So I'm gonna put that in D tier. All right, we've got Dreams. This is a pretty good theme. It's solid. It's original, and I believe this one could be B tier. We're gonna see where it goes. It's on its third year, I believe. I think they've had 2 or 3 waves. Not a big fan of like most of the stuff, but the Nightmare ships and different the Nightmare sets that they have from that theme with that like magenta, pink, dark pink, black. It's really cool, and they put a lot of work into those sets, and I really like those. Like the stable and stuff. Maybe some people like those. Not a big fan of those, but it's original, so I'll give them that. Duplo. Duplo's been going on for 50 plus years, I believe. There's a lot to incorporate into that, or there's a lot of different themes they've incorporated into the Duplo theme. Like they've made DC, they've made Marvel Duplo, they've made Western Duplo, they've made City Duplo, they've got Disney Duplo. So I'm gonna put that one in, not just because of the themes, but because of the creativity and how long it's been going. We're gonna go B tier on that one. Gabby's Dollhouse. There's only one theme, or one set I know from this theme, so it's gonna go. It's the Dollhouse, which is interesting. So it's not gonna be F. We'll go E tier on that one. They may have made some more sets. I need to research that. Harry Potter. This used to be a pretty solid theme. I think they retired it from like 2011 or 2010 all the way up to like 2016 or something, 2018 when they brought it back. It used to be pretty good, but I feel like the demand for Harry Potter has gone down, and that was when LEGO started like really cranking out the sets, and it's been repeat of like Hogwarts Castle and different things like that, and it's sets that really no one wants. The market on Bricklink for even the old figures and stuff, there's just no market for it anymore. From LEGO mass producing the sets, and the theme in general. And I believe that just the last few years, Harry Potter in general just hasn't been super popular. So I'm gonna go. They've got some creative sets and stuff, but LEGO's really ruined the theme, and the older sets don't make up for it. So we're gonna go D tier. Icons. I feel like this is a pretty good theme. I really don't know a lot about Icons, but I feel like they've done. I really don't know what falls into Icons, so I'm gonna leave that down here and I'll look that up later to just know everything that goes into the Icons theme. I don't know if it's just I honestly can't even think of a single Icon set. I was gonna say like kind of the art or whatever, like where they've done some of the mosaics of like I think they did the Rolling Stones or something like that. I don't know if that falls into Icons or art, or maybe Icons is a sub theme of art, or art is a sub theme of Icons. I don't know, or maybe they just merged on a few sets. I'll have to look some of this up. All right, we got Belleville. This is interesting. They were marketing again towards girls, and a lot of those themes have failed. This one lasted, I believe, up until 2008. From 95, I believe it lasted all the way from 1995 all the way to 2008. Maybe before then, maybe it was a little bit after. I could be getting my years mixed up, but it was interesting. There were a lot of unique pieces and such you won't find in any other sets, or they did create some themes for, or elements for Belleville that they ended up reusing in other themes, and I find that kind of interesting. So I'm gonna put that in C tier. It was interesting, it was creative, but not really my thing. Ideas. All right. There are a lot of sets that fall into Ideas because it's a fan inspired theme. You can go on, submit your build and LEGO ideas. If it's 10,000 supporters, it goes into a process to where it might be selected and becoming an actual set. I've seen all these before and afters because LEGO has to go through and like approve it, and sometimes they'll change things. The most notable one that comes to me is the A-frame. The before, it looked insane. It was amazing. And then what LEGO did to it, they just absolutely it took away from the trees, and I feel like they made it smaller. And the figures weren't as cool, which some of that's understandable. Like they would use retired pieces in the original ideas build, so they switch it out with like pieces that were still in production. So that's fair. But I feel like I would have just rather my set not be approved than have to be remade as it was. So I've also seen good things come out of ideas, like the piano, I believe, the grand piano. That's really cool. So we'll put B tier. Indiana Jones. Okay, they recently brought this back in 2023 or 2022. It's a great theme. You've got to love the older sets and even the newer sets at that. The older sets are great for collectability. Like, I feel like it was a theme designed to be collected. There weren't that many of them. There weren't that many different sets, so you could like build a cool display of all the sets. I find that pretty cool whenever a theme is like not too small, but also large enough that it takes some time to acquire the sets. And nowadays, all the sealed sets go for quite a bit from the original Indiana Jones. Then they expanded on it and brought back like 4 or 5 new sets, which is pretty cool. They didn't mass produce it. I believe that was because of the movie that came out in 2023, or maybe it's 2024. I don't know. So, and then the builds and stuff were honestly great. The minifigures were amazing, like the Temple of Doom and stuff. That was a cool set. We're gonna put this in A tier. Jurassic World. It was good at first. They weren't mass producing the sets or mass producing the theme. It's not like specific sets they mass produce. It's just when they're making like 15 or 20 sets in a wave. Every time they do new releases of sets, like every 6 months or so, it's when they do like about like 10 a year. So I think that's fair. And I believe they've been going way too far with the Jurassic World from where it was to start off with. And maybe it's because of the movies they've been coming out with. But either way, I'm not a fan of how they keep cranking out those sets and quality keeps dropping. And the minifigure prints and the dinosaurs in the builds. And actually, I would say the dinosaurs are probably the only part they're still putting effort into. They will have new molds, new prints and stuff, and I think that's pretty cool. But it's definitely targeted towards a younger audience, and which is fine. But I'm not gonna put that in S tier because of that. So it's gonna go C tier. Marvel. All right. I don't have to explain anything. We're gonna put that A tier. It's A tier. Star Wars. Okay, that's S tier. Lego Star Wars. It's not going up. The Lego Star Wars is an icon for so many reasons. People who aren't even Lego fans will still collect like Star Wars minifigures and stuff, or even possibly sets. There's just such hype around Lego Star Wars, and I feel like that's one of the themes that's kept Lego alive over the years. And yes, they've been the shrinkflation and the newer sets that seems to be not localized to Star Wars, but I feel like it's more common in Star Wars than other themes. So I'm gonna put that S tier regardless. It is such an icon, and it's my personal favorite theme. You can't go wrong with it. And it's hard to say because it is a licensed theme. It's not my favorite, like, it is my overall favorite Lego theme. But if I had to pick one that was a Lego original theme, I have not, sorry, I'm scratching my leg. I've not found, we haven't found that theme yet. So keep going. Speed Champions. Oh boy. I am not a huge fan of Speed Champions. They've got some really cool sets. But I'm not a huge color fan, honestly. And I hate the stickers. I really hate putting on some of these stickers, especially when they're transparent and you get fingerprints under them. It's so annoying. If they printed the pieces, my opinion might change a little bit. So we're going to go D tier on Speed Champions. I'm sorry for you car fans out there. Super Mario. This theme does not have a lot of good pieces that can be used in others builds. They're very specific to Mario, and for that, I do not like it. It is going E tier. Cool idea though, with like it being a game and stuff. That I respect that, but trying to build with it, it's not fun. Sonic. We're still pretty early into this theme. I really didn't think they were going to do Sonic, but we've had some really cool minifigures come out of that. Builds, on the other hand, not so great. The prices haven't been great, but if you can find them on discount, which you usually can, it's not a bad deal. We'll give it time, but for now it's going to be C tier. It doesn't earn B tier yet. Alpha Team. All right, hear me out on this one. There were 3 waves of Alpha Team. There's the original sets, where it's the like Trans Dark Blue, Trans Neon Green, and Black. And then you have the Ogle with like his fortress and stuff, which I think there's like a Ogle layer / fortress for every wave. But it's like the Trans Red and stuff, I think, for the first wave. And then you've got like the Hillcopter, the Bomb Squad. And then for the second wave, you've got Mission Deep Sea. They were obviously testing the waters with just going Alpha Team and didn't have like a... they didn't go into any like storyline or whatever, as far as I know. Then they go into Mission Deep Sea, which it was like yellow and... I was like yellow and black or whatever for the good guys, and the bad guys were Trans Neon Green, Trans Red, and Black. And there were like the Stingray, the Killer Mutant Whale, and many other cool sets like that. And then my favorite of the waves was Mission Deep Freeze. Now, I believe there's 8 sets, and I don't personally own any, but I've purchased a bunch to like resell and stuff, so I've got to build and go through a lot of the sets, and I love it. The Transmedia Blue and ice for ice and stuff. That is a genius way of using that color, and I don't know, it's got a great feel to the whole thing. The builds, on the other hand, kind of clunky, not so great, not a lot of functions and stuff. I mean, some of the sets do, but overall, not great. It's really the color scheme and how they advertised the theme is what does it for me. Even though I never grew up with that theme or anything, I still get a feeling of nostalgia. So this is going S tier. This is my favorite LEGO theme. It's underrated, and that's probably why I like it the most. It's my favorite underrated LEGO theme. How about that? Aqua Raiders. Got I feel like there was Aqua Raiders 1 and Aqua Raiders 2. Maybe it's Aqua Zone 1, Aqua Zone 2. Aqua Raiders was the one I remember, like the crab set. There's like a giant crab, and then there's another set with a shark and a submarine and stuff. I believe that's a pretty cool theme from like 2006, 2007. We're gonna go B tier on this one. Galaxy Squad. I actually own every set in this theme. Galaxy Squad. It's 2013. It didn't get super popular. They only did one wave of the theme, I believe. They may have done like initial wave and then released like 2 or 3 sets after the first wave. I'm not confident about that. But I just know I love the different colors. They've got the orange squad, the green squad, the blue squad, the red squad against alien bugs and stuff. I really like the design of the bugs, and that was really creative. So I'm gonna put this in A tier. Rock Raiders. I love it. It's an icon. This was one of the kind of like, I believe it was an underrated theme at first, and then the LEGO community on YouTube and just LEGO community in general found this theme and took off with it and was like, this is really cool. They should bring this back and things like that. And I know there are a lot of channels dedicated to Rock Raiders, and that's really cool. I really like it. The old brown, the dark turquoise, and the dark gray. Color scheme goes well. It's got a lot of great builds and stuff with the chrome drills and stuff. We're gonna put this one in A tier as well. I think I only own like one of the sets. I'll have to get more into Rock Raiders. But I definitely see a lot of people putting this S tier. I'm going A tier on this. Still don't know what these two are. I'll save these to the end, so I'll just keep putting them down there. Alright, Ghostbusters. They only made a couple sets. They had the Ideas Ecto one, then they had maybe that's what Icons is. Maybe they did Icons of the Ecto one, the large one. Then they had the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Then they had the Dimensions. I believe they made a couple Dimensions sets out of Ghostbusters. But not a lot of sets. And they're kind of spread out into other themes. It's basically a sub-theme of multiple other themes. So I'm just going to put that in D tier. We did have some good minifigures and stuff, like the State of Marshmallow Man and Slimer. But yeah, it's going to go D tier. Aqua Zone. I believe Aqua Zone is all the underwater stuff, and it kind of encompasses all of that. And I believe Aqua Raiders was a sub-theme of Aqua Zone. So we're going to put this in B tier as well. I like all the underwater stuff. Avatar, The Last Airbender. I believe there are only 2 sets for this one. There's the Fire Nation ship and a temple. Like 2006, I think. Those are pretty rare and expensive nowadays. I've never been like a big fan of Avatar or anything like that, so it was creative for the time in like 2006 and stuff. They weren't doing a lot of like, I think it was the first LEGO anime. I believe Avatar's anime, but I believe it was the first LEGO anime theme. So we'll put that in C tier. Ben 10. This was around 2010, I think. I don't know what the 10 in Ben 10 comes from. Never watched the show. They only made a couple sets, I think like 5 or 6, maybe it was like 8 of the different aliens and stuff. This was never, I don't believe it was marketed very well, and it failed miserably. So we're gonna put that in D tier. The sets weren't that great either, honestly. Boost. I only know like 2 sets. There's a droid set, and there was the original like robot or whatever kit that you could get. It didn't take off like they wanted to. I used to always want this. But I was like, as I grew up, I was like, that actually isn't that cool. Mindstorms is a lot better. And they were basically trying to make Mindstorms for a younger audience, I think. It didn't go very well, so we're going to go E tier. Cars 3. So does that mean there's Cars 1 and 2 in here? Cars 3, I'm just going to say this, all Cars themes should fit in the same tier. I don't think there are actually any other Cars for some reason. So this is just Cars, period. I'm going to put this in C tier. There's some good sets that have come out of Cars, and we've had a lot of the different Cars remade in LEGO. I've never been a fan of that theme. I don't own any of the sets, and I've never had the desire to buy them. They're not really collectible. They're not really that cool to build. It's my opinion. Elves. It was interesting. It was like another target at younger girls, but it didn't really go that well. I think it lasted 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. I don't even think it was that much. There were some cool pieces and stuff with like the dragons and stuff that came out of that, so we'll put in D tier instead of E tier. Chima. I never owned any of these sets. I always saw them growing up. I never got any. They didn't, I don't know. looking back at it, they were actually pretty cool, and it was kind of an icon of that like 2013, 2014 era of Lego. I guarantee most kids growing up and who had a Lego set in 2013 or 2014 got a Cheetah Lego set. I was not one of those, but we'll put a B here. I believe it's pretty good. We got some cool. We got a lot of minifigures from that theme, and a lot of sets. And then they had the different stuff. There was like the ice, and there was like the fire and stuff. I don't know a lot about it. And then there's a show to go with it. So, that one's good. Clickets. This is like jewelry, so I don't know how well this theme did, but I don't think it did very well. So we're gonna put it up here with dots in D tier. Superhero girls. This is mini dolls. Again, targeted at a younger female audience. I believe I think they did like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Batgirl and things like that. So we got a whole bunch of cool minifigures from this theme. The sets weren't all that great, like Calypso's Palace and Superhero High or something like that. So I'm gonna go C tier. Dimensions. This is all based off of a game that I never played, so I can't give any rating on that. We did get a lot of really cool minifigures. I like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which was Ghostbusters, but it was also released in Dimension sets. And then we got like Gremlins and random things like that would have never been made in Lego. So for that, we'll put B tier, just because of all the really cool minifigures we got out of it that we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Exoforce. Alright, this theme is pretty cool with like mechs and stuff like that. And you got all kinds of mechs, different vehicles and stuff, which I really like. And then you've got a whole bunch of like different minifigures and crazy hairstyles and stuff. I don't know. I think the box art and everything like that, I think it was really great. Especially for its time. So we're gonna go B tier. We're gonna go A tier. Fantastic Beasts. I don't know if Fantastic Beasts is a part of Harry Potter or something. I've never watched Harry Potter. I've never watched or read Harry Potter. I've never watched or read Fantastic Beasts. I don't really know what it is. I just know it's similar to Harry Potter. So we're gonna put it next to Harry Potter. The sets weren't any better anyway. So Hero Factory. They were trying too hard to make it Bionicle, and it failed. So we are going D tier. It wasn't horrible, but it's hard to really enjoy a theme when you can tell they're just trying to like recreate a retired theme. Which at the time I don't think Bionicle was retired, but they were phasing it out and trying to phase in Hero Factory, I think, and they ended up both just retired. Hidden Side. This is a pretty bad theme to most people. This is like 2019, 2020, so around COVID era, and they tried doing the like game and stuff. So you'd buy the set and then make it come to life with an app. They were trying to incorporate too much technology into the sets, which should not be the case with Lego. Similar to the Mario theme. Lego is supposed to be like building and stuff. If you do like digital instructions, which I guess saves paper, it's a whole other topic. But it's just the fact that Lego is incorporating too much technology into their builds and sets and themes. I don't like it. We did get some cool minifigures with like the ghosts and stuff. I do own a lot of the sets since I got them on discount around the 2019-2020 era. I got a lot of them for birthday gifts and stuff. So I'm going to put this in B tier. That's being too generous. It's getting C tier. Juniors. Again, we get a lot of like, there are Marvel juniors, there's DC juniors. We got some Incredibles juniors. There's City. There's not Friends, but they did have like a girl theme out of that. We're gonna put juniors C tier. It's not a bad theme. Knights Kingdom. All right, there's Knights Kingdom 1, Knights Kingdom 2. I believe these themes are put in here to kind of have both of them together. Knights Kingdom was great. I think it was Knights Kingdom 2 with the like vibrant colors like the purple and medium blue and green and stuff. Found that interesting. And then there were like real bright colors compared to the original Knights Kingdom, where it was like a typical castle, which is cool. But I really like how random the second Knights Kingdom was. And they had a card game that went along with it. And you could like get cards and trading cards and stuff, I believe. I don't know if they're trading cards or whatever, but I knew they had cards that come with the sets. We're gonna go B tier on Knights Kingdom. The Hobbit. I don't know anything about The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings. But I will say they did put a lot of work into The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings sets. I don't know. I kind of put them together since I've never seen or watched Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, so I know they're connected. So I'm gonna put them up together. And recently Lego's brought back Lord of the Rings, and with the minifigures and stuff too. So we're going to put this up in B tier. They really did put a lot of work into that theme. Bob the Builder. I believe there's like 2 Duplo sets out of this theme. It's interesting. Would not expect Bob the Builder in Lego, but we did get it at some point in the early 2000s or late 90s or something. I think it was early 2000s. So we're going to go E tier. Mixels. This is a show on the Cartoon Network. It had some interesting sets. Never was a big fan of them. You could like kind of combine the sets together to make bigger ones, but I'm not a huge fan of that theme. We'll go D tier on that one. Got a lot of D tier. Not a lot of S. On some A, a lot of B, and a lot of C. That's understandable. Sophia the First. When did they make Sophia the First sets? It must be Duplo. No, I guarantee it's Duplo. I gotta put E tier on that one. Jake and the Neverland Pirates. Okay, I did know they made sets of this. They'd made Duplo sets, and they were like 5 or 6 or something back in the day, and My brother and I used to play with those and stuff. So I think that's really cool. And a lot of nostalgia goes into that theme and the show in general. So we're going to put that in A tier, which is crazy. A lot of people probably wouldn't go past C, but because of nostalgia, it's going in A. Miles from Tomorrowland. Okay, that was a show, Disney show, I think, and I think they made like one, maybe two Duplo sets of this. It's going in tier. I never watched the show. I don't know anything about it. I just recall seeing it scrolling on Bricklink at some point. Dora the Explorer. I think this is another Duplo one. These are all the weird sets they made in Duplo. So I'm going to put that in E tier. Just because it's Dora the Explorer, I mean, come on. I guess we'll bump it up to D, but nothing past D. Little Robots. This was Duplo, I think. They might have mixed a couple other elements in there. Like, they had some specific elements for that theme. But I think overall it was scaled for Duplo. E tier. Monster Fighters. Okay, now we're talking. Got the 2012 Lego. There were a limited amount of sets. I think there were like 10 or 11, maybe 12. A couple large ones, a couple poly bags. It's overall done really well for a Lego theme. The builds are great with like the haunted house. And you also had some play sets and stuff with some awesome play features. So this one's gonna go A tier. Oh, come on. A tier. Nixo Knights. Okay, this theme was pretty bad at first. I didn't really like it. It was just a weird castle, and then they were, again, Lego was trying to add technology in their sets, and this is back in like 2017 or whatever. I wasn't a big fan of that, but it grew on me, and as they phased out the technology part of the theme, I've really grown to enjoy it with like collecting the shields and such. We've got some really cool figures and some really rare figures because some of the waves weren't produced as much because there wasn't as much of a demand. And we got like Lord Kraken Skull, who's like a $250 minifigure now, out of like a $60 set, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to put that in A tier. There's a lot to do with Nixo Knights if you just like building castles, like a futuristic castle theme. It's really great. I got to push these back again. Ooh, Galdor. It's hard to consider this Lego. Every piece in that theme was specific to Galdor. I don't know. Like, looking back at it now, some of those sets are pretty rare and like $500 for like a 4-piece doll or whatever. And sealed, you can't even find those. So, I suppose, looking at it from a collector's standpoint and being like, this was a really weird Lego theme, I spent a lot of money to have all the sets and stuff. It was kind of cool. I don't know if it's based off a show or if it was specific to just Lego. I want to put an F tier, but we're going to go E. Just because there is some value in the theme. Thomas and Friends. It's so bad it's good. Thomas and Friends. I think this is just... No, this was just Duplo. I used to love Thomas, but I never had any of the sets and have yet to encounter any of the sets in person. They did have quite a bit, I think. Because it's Duplo, it's going to go D tier. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then we had some based off the movies. I own a couple from both. I know the first Turtles were like the brighter green, like the show, and then the ones in the movie were like a darker green. It was more of like a menacing theme, honestly, kind of like the movie was from the more kid-themed show. So I think I'm going to put this in B tier. We got some really cool mutant minifigures and stuff. I like the turtle shells and stuff. And pretty nostalgic theme. Quattro. This is Duplo, but bigger Duplo, and Quattro failed. I've had some of these and stuff. It's like the large Mega Bloks and stuff. Yet they were, it was basically Lego trying to do something like that. These are like for kids before Duplo. I'm going to put this in E tier. Ferris Quest. This is an interesting theme. I really like the desert and stuff, like bringing back adventures and stuff, the desert expeditions. And then like the flying mummies and stuff like that was pretty cool. We're gonna go B tier. Power Miners. This theme has had a spike in popularity lately. This is basically them bringing back Rock Raiders. I forgot to mention that. They did kind of come back with Rock Raiders 2.0, which is Power Miners, and this is like lime instead of turquoise. And they had some really cool rock monsters. They really went all out on that, and I love that. And each set had like a number on it, like the vehicle is like 1, 2, 3. I think they had like 16 or 17 sets in the line, possibly more. Some of those are really rare now. We're gonna put this in A tier. Baby. Maybe this is like Rattles and stuff like that are still kind of like Duplo or Primo or Quattro, but maybe they're licensed as Baby. I don't care. It's going E tier. I don't know what that is. Prince of Persia. No, this theme failed. You can still buy the sets for most of the sets for less than they were at retail. The only thing that comes out of that theme, the good thing that comes out of that theme, is the bare-chested Dastan minifigure. I think that's his name. The ostriches, the camels. And we got some like cool torsos and stuff from a few of the other figures. That's about it. Nothing great from the line. It was a failed show or movie or whatever, and I think it was a movie. And the Lego theme failed just as bad. We're going to go D tier. Racers. Way too many stickers on every single one of these sets. and it was kind of a boring theme. I mean, if you really like cards, that's great, but even then, I don't even think the cards are that great. So E tier. Scala, something, I don't know how to say that. I feel like this falls into the line of like Belleville and stuff. I think it was another like doll thing. I think this is specifically dolls. E tier. Scooby Doo. All right, this one's pretty cool. They made 5 sets. I think they made polybags of 6. Really great theme. I mean, they really nailed it. You got the whole gang. You had like a zombie. You had a pharaoh. You had a sea monster. You had a vampire. Headless Horseman. I mean, they really nailed this theme. And making only 5 sets and disappearing and leaving it at that. Perfect. This is how we go. Should make like some licensed themes like this, where there's not like a whole lot to make out of it. Just do a couple sets and let it be. So we're gonna go A tier on that one. Primo. This is again, I think this is before Quattro. It was larger, but they didn't really stick together. They just kind of sat on top of each other, the bricks and stuff. Really interesting. I've come across some before in the lots that I've purchased. Not great. It's interesting. I believe there's no, never mind. That's Quattro. It's Quattro. We're going put it with Baby and Quattro. So I don't have anything against baby sets, but like there were a lot of things that went wrong with these, and maybe they could have done well, but because they did fail, I'm putting them in E tier. Not. I don't really see much potential in it. And apparently other people didn't either. So I guess if we can both agree on that, then it's going E tier. SpongeBob. Okay. I believe this ran from 2006 to 2012, off and on. Had some good minifigures. I believe a lot of the sets were kind of repetitive, and they didn't nail. They kind of messed up. The original Squidward was horrible. It was just a plain minifigure head. Thankfully, they did the molded one later on. So I don't know. It's hard to hate SpongeBob. We're gonna go C tier on that one. Sports. That's like the soccer teams where you had to sticker all the torsos front and back, and you had to sticker all the signs. Yep, not fun. And the sets, you could play them, which is kind of cool. So we'll put it in D tier. Not is going D tier. Stranger Things. I believe they made 4 sets. You've got the Upside Down. You've got the Barb Comic Con, which some would argue is not a set. You've got the Barb and Demogorgon Brickheads, and you had Castle Buyers Toys R Us exclusive. So they never really made a theme out of that. It was just a set here and there from like Comic Con, Toys R Us giveaway, and the only real one was and then Brickheads. The only real one was the Upside Down. Because of that, it's going C tier. But the sets they made, oh man, beautiful. Lego Batman movie. This one came out 2018. I think it was right before 2017, 2018. It was right before Ninjago movie. We got Joker Manor out of that. We got a lot of other really cool villains. Condiment King, Eggman, not be confused with Eggman from Sonic. I don't know if his name's actually Eggman, but it's the egg guy. So that was a pretty cool theme. We'll go B tier on this one. B tier. Okay, Zenap. Oh, this is like Galador. None of the pieces were Lego. I think they did have some like Technic pins and stuff possibly, but even then, I might be wrong. It may have all been unique pieces or pieces specific to that theme. I think this is gonna be the first F. There's no redeeming qualities of Zenap. Powerpuff Girls. I think they made like 1 set from this, and then maybe a Dimensions. It's going E tier. I don't know anything about Powerpuff Girls. Simpsons. We just got a new set for the first time. They had 2 CMF waves, and then they had the Simpsons house, and then they had the Quickie Mart, and then they just came out with the Krusty Burger, which honestly looks pretty great. We had some new minifigures from the Simpsons series. We'll do C tier on that one. They could definitely work on some smaller sets from the Simpsons, but I believe it's targeted more towards an adult audience, which is understandable. Toy Story. The original Toy Story was kind of cursed. It was kind of accurate, but there's something wrong about it. In 2019, Toy Story was not great either because of the figures had like regular face prints and stuff, and it honestly just looked pretty cursed. So they really can't win with that one. If anything, I'd have to say the original Toy Story was better because it was more accurate. The second Toy Story just doesn't look real. We have a lot of iconic sets and stuff, like the trash compactor, the Buzz and Woody on the remote control car. We got Lotso and stuff, so we'll go C tier. Trolls World Tour. I think this is just Trolls in general. This is a failed theme. They might still be... No, they're not still making sets, I don't think. But it wasn't great. I mean, they did nail the minifigures, honestly, from the show. So for accuracy, we'll put it in D tier, but not the best theme. Angry Birds. I believe this one kind of flopped. I don't think a lot of people bought the sets and stuff, and there's really been no demand for the sets nowadays. Maybe they missed the time. I don't even know when Angry Birds was popular. We'll go D tier. because they did put a lot of effort into the theme, and the builds and stuff were pretty good. It's just Angry Birds in general is not that interesting. Ultra Agents. This is like the second theme or second life of Agents. They had the first wave of Agents, and I think they had a second wave of Agents, and they did Ultra Agents, and the second wave of Ultra Agents. The first wave, I own most of the sets. They're pretty cool. And we got some cool minifigures. We got some cool builds, vehicles, minifigures. I think I already said that, but yeah, it was great. Second wave, it was I believe they started using technology with those sets, like trying to put technology and stuff. They had the little bricks and stuff that you could touch on a screen or whatever, and it would like register that you had the set or something. And that really failed. And they didn't produce very many of those sets. And as a result, some of those are going for like it was like a $80 set, $60 set. It's going for $500. So great for I think it's cool for collectors. And awesome builds and stuff to play with. So we're gonna go A tier on this one. This list is getting so large. A tier. Okay, back. Keep going. Keep pushing these back. Lego Movie 2. I prefer the Lego Movie 1, but the Lego Movie 2 wasn't bad. We're going to put this in B tier. That's all I'm gonna say. Vikings. Okay, this is pretty cool. Limited amount of sets. Cool Viking pieces and stuff, and prints and patterns. And yes, some stickers, but they didn't overdo it. We got a cool Viking ship. That's going A tier. I just love that theme for some reason. Everything about it's awesome. All right, Adventures. This is S tier. S tier. It's hard to really find something wrong with Adventures in my eyes. I mean, you got like the Orient Expedition. You got the desert. You have the jungle and stuff. We got a lot of like cool figures with like cape prints and stuff like that. Absolutely amazing. We had a lot of like chrome gold pieces. It's still in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where Lego is kind of shifting to a lot more modern pieces. I guess that was kind of the shift in some colors. You go from like light gray to like bluish gray, dark gray to dark bluish gray, brown, reddish brown, and that shift is kind of happening right before the theme ended. And I believe we did get some adventure sets with newer colors. I don't think it lasted that long. I think it went from like 95 to like 2000 or 2001. All right, video. What do you know? We come up with another theme. We come here to another theme that was heavily influenced by technology and social media in general. So this one was supposed to like a dance app and stuff, and then you would take the minifigures, and I don't even know really what was supposed to happen. But you take like little beat bits, I think they were called, and then you scan them, and then it gives it a song or something. I don't know. It was kind of lame, but because the second wave of CMFs was canceled after they had already released some, that caused the value of some of the figures to go up to like $50 to $100 a figure, which I think is pretty cool. And the figures were really well done, honestly. The rest of the theme sucked. So C tier. Mtron. This is A tier. Love the red, the black, trans neon green. You just see those colors, you know that's Mtron. And we had some cool sets with like magnets and stuff. They really loved using those in builds, and I'm all for it. Winnie the Pooh. Oh boy, I don't know if this is Duplo. I think they may have made an actual set off of this, but either way, this is like 2003 maybe, 2002, 97. I don't know, something like that. E tier. Extra. Ooh. I don't know what all goes into this. I just know you got a lot of like, you could buy these and you get like street posts and like trees and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. So we'll do C tier. Lone Ranger. It was a short-lived theme. I wasn't really a big fan of the movie, but I do own one of the sets. The Silver Mine Shootout. Some of the minifigures are really cool, and parts and stuff for like cowboys and stuff, or if you want to like make your own custom Western theme. If you want to make it more realistic and stuff from like the old like yellow skin color from the 90s, you could really upgrade those. You could really upgrade your builds and stuff with pieces from the Lone Ranger. So we'll give this C tier. Almost deserves B, but we'll go C. Dino. I don't remember if there was like Dino and then Dino Attack and stuff. I don't remember which one's which. I really liked some of the original dinosaurs and stuff. They were really. I don't remember if this is the 2012 or the 2005 theme. Either way, both of them probably gonna go C tier. Alien Conquest. That's just a cool theme. Or go B tier. I really like some of the aliens and stuff. And then back when Lego used to do space stuff. Games. I think this is just games in general, which was like 2010, early 2010s. The games really weren't that creative. I mean, you could build with them and stuff, which was kind of fun, but the game really had no purpose. Any of them, for that matter. So we're gonna go E tier. Batman. Okay, this is original Batman 2006 through 2008. All the minifigures are based off the Lego Batman game, or maybe the game is based off that theme. I don't know. Either way, we got all the original Batman figures like Poison Ivy and the Riddler and Bane and Scarecrow, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Robin, Alfred. It's amazing, and I really like seeing every time I come across a minifigure set from that theme. It's just awesome. So we'll go S tier on that one. I mean, I really love the original Batman theme. it looks like we still have quite a bit to go. Okay, agents. I already talked about that. Similar to Ultra Agents, but basically just like this is the original theme and what inspired Ultra Agents. We're going to go B tier. I prefer Ultra Agents, though Agents was a pretty good theme. It was just before me. Unikitty. This theme failed so bad. E tier. It was like Unikitty was a character from the Lego Movie, and then they tried to make a spin-off show on Cartoon Network. I don't like it. It was like they were trying to combine Mixels and Lego Movie. It's weird. I didn't like it. Hiroka. I believe this is just games. So, because the games are in E tier, I'm going to put it in E tier. I think they made a couple games based off of Hiroka. I don't even know what Hiroka is. If it's just a Lego theme or if it's something outside of that. Jackstone. This is F tier. All the sets were bad. They were very specific pieces to the theme. The minifigures were weird and clunky. No. Studios. That was interesting. We're gonna go C tier. I think that's what inspired a lot of like stop motion animators and stuff with like Lego and stuff back in the day. And a lot of the sets had cool play features and cool minifigures to go along with it, and they were reasonably priced at the time. Speed Racer. We'll go D tier. All these original car themes had tons of stickers. Unitron. This is one of the more rare space themes. Weren't very many sets, and I think it got canceled pretty early on, which is why we didn't get Ctron, unfortunately. So Unitron is going to be an A tier. It's pretty good. UFO. Okay, yes, another original space. This is like system space theme. This was like 95. I don't know. That was really cool. They had some cool UFO for like flying saucers and stuff. We're gonna go B tier. Icon. Oh, we're back to these again. I have to keep moving them down. Freestyle. No. For the same reason I dislike Create Classic. Freestyle was that, but worse. Ninja. Okay, this is like before Ninjago and stuff like that. Man, Ninja was pretty cool. It was like Red Ninja, Black Ninja, Green Ninja, Gray Ninja, and different things. And they had some samurai minifigures, and then they like chrome pieces and stuff. It's still like the old brown, old gray colors, which is pretty cool. We'll go A tier for the original Ninja. Pirates. I think this is all of Pirates. So like you have all the original pirate ships, and then you had the pirate sets up in like 2010, 2012, stuff like that. Pretty good. You really can't go wrong with Pirates. We're gonna go A tier for Pirates. Fabuland. Okay, this theme was primarily released in Europe, I believe, because I've never come across a single set in the US, and a lot of these have like French names and stuff. It's interesting, and it's become like a highly collectible series, even though it was like targeted at very young audiences, I believe. A lot of the sets would come like a blister pack with like a single minifigure and like accessory. We're gonna put that in C tier. Not a lot you can do with the theme, but because it's collectible, C tier. Discovery Kids. I believe they made some like space sets out of this, like rockets and stuff. We'll go C tier on this one. Planes. I think this is Duplo. No, I know this is Duplo. D tier. There's like one or two sets. Hard to consider theme. Futuron. Okay. I like it. I like Unitron a little more. I like Intron a little more. I like Blacktron a little more. But Futuron is still pretty good, so it's gonna go up in A tier. Got like the monorail and stuff. It's pretty cool. Ooh, Ice Planet 2002. I just love this theme. If you know anything about me, you know I've been working on Ice Planet Mock for several years now, and I've just been kind of collecting some of the figures and stuff. I really like the it was like a very fun theme, and it was like space too, which just makes it even more awesome because there were spaceships and stuff, and they're like mining on a or an ice planet in space. So really cool. Animal Crossing. New theme. I don't own any of the sets. I haven't really seen much, but I don't know anything about Animal Crossing. We'll put D tier just from lack of knowledge. Spirus, another space theme. We are going to put this in B tier. It is one of my least favorite space themes. We had like a robot or something in there. There was like a robot and with like the transparent helmet, and I think that was really cool. But not a lot sticks out from that theme. We've got Explorans. I like this one a little more than Spirus, so we're also gonna put that in B tier. Not enough to be A tier. RoboForce. A lot of people probably put this as like their least favorite space theme, but I've encountered a lot of sealed sets from RoboForce, and I don't know, something about holding sealed sets just like change it on older themes, just kind of changes my perspective on them. So I think there were like 4 or 5 sets from RoboForce. It was like the Roboraptor and stuff. We're gonna go A tier on that one. Insectoids. I don't know. Insectoids is alright. I think this one's going to go in B tier up here just because it's like that classic space and stuff. It's got a cool feel to it, but like it's going with like UFO, Spirus, Explorans, Insectoids. It was also towards the mid-90s, so it was my classic space. Incredibles. Okay, I like the Incredibles, and they did a great job recreating minifigures and such. So this is going to go C tier because they were only made junior sets. Stunts. Too many specialized pieces for the theme and prints and patterns and everything. It's gonna go E tier. Life on Mars. I really like this theme for the sand purple and sand red usage. I don't know, this is kind of a hard one. I think I'm gonna put this in A tier. I really enjoy Life on Mars. A lot of the sets, it was like that. I think it was kind of the branch between like classic or older space, and then the space like Galaxy Squad and stuff like that. It was kind of the in between. Kind of helped link it together. So we'll get it. Okay, we've got Castle. If I remember right, I already did Castle. So okay, maybe this is like, I think this is like fantasy era, and this isn't like classic Castle. I think this is classic Castle. Where that divider is, like, it must be like anything. Would Knight's Kingdom classify as Castle, or like New Castle or Old Castle? Maybe that's the in between. Maybe every castle theme before is Old Castle, and every theme after Knight's Kingdom is New Castle. Interesting. I don't know. We're gonna put this S tier just because I didn't know there were multiple things. But I mean, the original castle, you gotta love it. Tech play. I don't know what this is. F tier. I have a feeling it's something really small, and I can tell by the design, it's like 90s. It's not big enough to even be recognized. All right, we've got Fortnite. This is a new theme. We've got the Der Burger, got the Fortnite Battle Bus. I'm going to put that in. I'm not a Fortnite. I never played Fortnite a day in my life, so. But I think they've done a really good job recreating minifigures and sets and stuff. They just need to not do what they did with Minecraft. Just chill with it, do a set here and there, and I think they'll be good. Paradisa. We're going to put this one in B tier. This is targeted at girls, but I believe this theme, because they used regular Lego elements, we got a lot of cool elements and stuff like beach stuff and really cool printed base plates and some cool colors like pink. And you're like, pink is a rare Lego color. Yes, pink is a rare Lego color. You are used to seeing dark pink or bright pink. That's not pink, according to Lego. Dark pink stuff is made like 1 or 2 duplicates. E tier. Slizer, Throwbots. I think this was like Technic or whatever, or Technic mixed with Bionicle or something. I don't know if this is a sub-theme of Technic. I think it was a sub-theme of Technic. We're gonna go D tier. Cyber Slam. This is a sub-theme of Technic, and they had the turquoise and purple, dark turquoise and purple, which I think those are pretty cool colors. It's just like pink. Purple is not a common Lego color. It is retired as far as I know. All the sets were kind of lame, but you could really play with them and stuff, and it was cool color scheme, so D tier. It was iconic. Robo Riders. What is Robo Riders? That's kind of a basic like logo anyway. I'm gonna look that up. Cybermaster. What? I don't know what that is. Put all these down there. Okay, Forma. This is like a game or something that I just know it failed in the. I know they're trying to push it in like 2012, 2013, and it really failed. Or maybe that's Fusion. I don't know. It's going after. I'm not wasting time on that. Mickey Mouse. They brought back a lot of Mickey Mouse, I think, with Disney stuff, but the original Mickey Mouse, that was really interesting. It was like a mix between like Fabuland and like Creator or something, like original Creator. We're gonna go E tier. Island Extreme, D tier. Knights. Oh, this must be the first Knights Kingdom. Okay, wherever the other Knights Kingdom was, I'm going to put it. I think I put it in B tier. Maybe it's A tier. Knights Kingdom. Okay, we'll put it up here. Does it say like 2? I think they cut off where it says Knights Kingdom 2. Okay, Lightyear. Oh, they made like 3 sets and they weren't that good. They were overpriced. E tier. The movie wasn't that good. Homemaker. I know the theme, but that's weird. They just took a picture of a set and put it in here's the theme. I believe this is supposed to be Homemaker. Oh, we've got another castle. That's weird. Okay, Homemaker. This is like 60s, or I think it's like the 70s and stuff. It was before minifigures. E tier. Trains. Okay. I'm not a big fan of trains and stuff like that, but it is iconic. People who collect trains will collect Lego trains. So C tier. Little Force Friends. I don't know what that is. F tier. I know it's older and not big enough to really be recognized. Action Wheelers. This is another car theme, and this either was super specific with like parts and stuff, so you really couldn't combine them and make your own stuff, or this was the one that had a lot of like stickers to it. So either way, it's going E. What is this? I mean, I thought I knew pretty much like every Lego theme. What in the world? I'm at a loss. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before in my life. World City. Okay, we had some. It was like City, but different and everything. It was like City, but better. And I think it would have been a cool theme if they continued it. We got some cool builds and stuff. It was like it was a different team of designers than like regular City. So we're gonna go B tier. We have Extreme Team. Okay, we had some cool builds and stuff and sets and stuff, but nothing more in D tier. Nothing more in C tier. Hydronauts. Okay, this is a pretty cool theme. Underwater and stuff, transparent colors. This is going A tier. Adventure. Oh, they made an Adventures. Oh man. Okay. They made an icon for every Adventures theme. So this is going. Oh, Dang, I have to scroll all the way to the top. This is going up here. All of these pictures are. Orient Expedition. And then we have, this is the jungle. Right there, cool. Okay, castle, third castle, yeah, I don't know which one this is, but it's just because I don't know, it's going in, a S tier. I do recognize that there are different, like, logos on each one, I just really don't know which one is which. So I'll put these together. I know this logo is, like, the 2012, 2011, 2013 castle with like the lion and stuff in the blue and white. This one is probably before then. This is probably like the fantasy era and stuff like that with like the trolls and stuff. And then they had it might also be like the red and white with a crown, I think. So there might be another castle in here. I would not be surprised. Okay, rescue. No, it was kind of like Jack Stone, but a little better. I think it was actually just as bad as Jack Stone. I think it was the same like weird figures and stuff, but maybe not. I don't remember. Dacta. This is like kits and stuff they would sell to like schools and stuff. Had some cool kits and stuff that came out, but I don't think they really made a lot of the stuff public, or you could buy it like replacement stuff from Lego. Space Police. This is the Space Police 1 or Space Police 2 or both. Not Space Police 3. We're gonna put this B tier. Arctic. This is a pretty cool theme. This is the original Arctic, not the city Arctic. We're gonna go B tier on this one. We got some really cool sets of that. Education. Yeah, this is like, I think Education is a sub-theme of Dacta. There's a lot of these that are sub-themes of Dacta. Pirates of the Caribbean. They were going at full force and they just like stopped on Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know if sales are dropping, or maybe it was because like a movie came out or something and then they just made money off that and then stopped, or it wasn't profitable enough. I don't know. A lot of the sets are really well, or sell really well now. And it's still a pretty popular theme, even though it's been retired for 12 or 13 years. Mindstorms. I like the robotics and everything. I never got into it. It's kind of a separate thing, so we're going to go C tier. I like it, but no. Aqua Raiders. This is the original Aqua Raiders. Okay, so they did have Aqua Raiders 1 and Aqua Raiders 2. Okay. We're gonna go. I like this one. We're gonna go B tier. Aegis 2.0. I'm not crazy. Does that mean there's an Ultra Aegis 2.0? There should be. I'm not seeing it, but there definitely should be a Ultra Aegis 2.0, because I believe it was called 2.0. So we have Aegis 2.0. I'll put this probably in, I think I put it in A tier. Oh no, I put it in B tier, so that's fair. Atlantis. Okay, this is a pretty cool theme. I grew up just before, I guess started getting into Lego just after this retired, so I never got any, but I really like looking back at this stuff, and I really like to buy some of the sets nowadays. Technic. Okay, there's so much you can do with Technic. It's amazing, and it's still going. We're gonna go A tier on Technic, just because there's so much that goes into Technic, where it's gotta go A tier. Disney Princess. They've got a lot of different stuff in Disney Princess, so we're going to go B tier. Personally, not a huge fan of those sets, but it's not fair to put anything lower than C. Space Police 3. I recognize by the logo. This one is a pretty cool theme. They brought back in 2010 from when they last retired Space Police in 97, 98. So B tier. Factory. Okay, this was an interesting theme. It was almost like Ideas, I think. I think they had a couple different designers and stuff that ended up making sets. It was really weird. And some of the sets sealed go for quite a bit of money, but we'll go D tier. I don't know a lot about that. Monkey Kid. They've been cranking out so many sets, and that's the problem I have. Like, it could do really well. I have a feeling a lot of the sets are going to be extremely rare and hard to find in the future, just because they're making so many that a lot of the sets are going on the radar, and they have a shorter shelf life because of... they're just constantly making so many. I have a feeling this theme won't last long. Maybe. I think it's been going since 2020. Surprise is still going, but it probably won't go longer than 3 more years. So we'll go C tier. Bionicle. Okay. Bionicle. I don't like Bionicle that much, like the pieces and stuff, but I can understand why it's popular and why it's cool. I just haven't gotten into it, so we'll put that in A tier. It's an icon of Lego. Okay. Creator 3-in-1. Okay. I thought... What's the difference between Creator and Creator 3-in-1? Where did I put Creator up here? Oh, this is Expert. I'm dumb. Okay, I like the Expert. Those are the modulars and stuff, and roller coasters and stuff. So we'll put that in B tier. It's not fair to put that in E tier or D tier. Minecraft. It's cool, but they made way too many sets. It's going in D tier, and the sets have gone sloppy. So Overwatch. They made like 10 sets and then dipped. Gotta go D tier. They made some cool minifigures, but I don't care about Overwatch. Dino 2010. Okay. I'm just gonna put all these dino themes together because I'm not sure which one's which. Where did I think I put it? Did I put B tier? Dino. Oh, no, I put Dino C tier too. The Western. Okay, this one's getting A tier. The original Western sets were so cool with like Wild West, TPs, things like that. It's pretty cool. So, Aquanauts. I think that was like the yellow underwater stuff in like the 90s. I don't really know very well which one Aquanauts is. I think I know, but I can picture it. I can't explain it. I think it was the trans green where it had like the Neptune. Oh, it was like it had a base plate or two, like a raised base plate, and there was like this trans green panel or whatever, and it was really cool. It was like Neptune Discovery Lab or something. Maybe that was a different one. I don't know. We're putting A tier. Aqua Sharks. This was the neon orange underwater stuff. The only way you can like identify these themes are by the colors. I think this one is A tier as well. Lord of the Rings. I said I was going to put this where Hobbit was, and I already talked about that, so we are going to match it wherever I put Hobbit, which I believe was A tier. Maybe I put B tier. Why can't I find the Hobbit? I put C tier. Okay, I must have missed it. Hobbit. I know, I've got to be like staring like right at it. Oh, yeah, it's right here. Okay, so perfect. Dinosaurs. Not another dinosaur theme like that. Oh, Dino Attack. Okay, I'll go ahead and put this one in C tier with the rest of the dinos. Dinosaurs. These are like model dinosaurs and stuff built out of bricks. It's interesting. We'll do D tier. They will kind of look weird. Stingrays. Another underwater theme. This one is cool though. We're going to put this one in A tier. Kusu or whatever. There were a few weird sets in this theme. I really don't know what it was supposed to be, but I don't know. F tier. Spybotics. E tier. There was like a little bit of robotics mixed with Technic. It never took off. Model Team. Okay, we've got some really cool sets for Model Team. Like, I mean, it was like models of vehicles and stuff. In like the early 2000s. So we'll go C tier now. B tier. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Kingdoms. Okay, this one is like 2009 forward. So trying to figure out where are these castles. There. S tier is pretty much just castle now. It's kingdoms though, so I'll try to put like, there we go, chronological order. So this is newest, and then we got the older castle, and then this one must be fantasy era still, and this is just like really old castle. Okay. Mars mission. That was like, that came after Life on Mars. I'm going to put that in B tier. Eli. I looked this. I happened to see this on the list before and looked it up. E tier uses sub theme of Dacta. Space Police. Where did I put the? Probably A tier. Okay, it's going. I'm just gonna put that Space Police. That was. I think this is the first Space Police. Okay, actually, the first Space Police was pretty cool. It's the second wave. Yeah, there's a second one, which is not my favorite. The first one was pretty good though. A tier. Gru Minions. Minions are pretty cool. I never expected them because it was always Mega Block. I think they had the contract with Illumination to do Minions, and then Lego got it. So we're gonna go B tier. Collectible minifigures. This is going to be A tier. We've gotten so many awesome minifigures and pieces and stuff out of this. This is A tier. Okay, architecture. We've gotten some cool builds and stuff and some really rare sets because Lego likes doing random things with architecture. We'll get real exclusive sets sometimes. And by exclusive, I mean it was like, there was this one in particular where like only 20 copies have been found or whatever. And maybe it was thought that only 20 were available. They were sold in Africa or something right after the release, but they switched out a couple pieces, or they rebuilt it. It was like with or without a hotel or something right after a shooting happened, I believe. Don't take my word for it. World Racers. They didn't use any stickers, and it was pretty cool, but it was also not really like cars and stuff. It was just kind of like goofy vehicles and stuff with like weird cannons and stuff, but it's still pretty cool, so we'll give it B2. And Botanical Collection. As I was talking about earlier, not a huge fan of that theme, but I do understand why it's so popular with adults. C tier. Okay, I'm going to look these up real quick. Robo Rider. Okay, it's a sub theme of Technic. So our Robo Riders is going to get E tier because I didn't know what it was. I don't know how I'm gonna look this up. Maybe if I do a search. Might search image later. Where did I go? Oh, up here. Okay. I think this is the Chinese sets, whatever, with like the festival stuff. I don't know. We're gonna go D tier. I don't like those sets. Cybermaster. Once more, it's a sub theme of Technic. I honestly could have guessed, but and then icons. Okay, I think it's like where they do the builds or something. Like you've got the Disney villain icons and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll put icons and stuff up in C tier. This one, if anyone knows what this is, please comment. I'll look this up after the video, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. This is my ranking. Let me know if you think it's pretty valid or not. I mean, this is my personal opinion, but I also did factor in what other people think of different themes and stuff, like the botanicals and stuff. Like, I know why people like that, and I personally don't like it, but I'm not going to just put it in E tier because I don't like it. There's a lot of creativity, and I could definitely see myself liking it in the future. Other themes like Znap or Jackstone, no one likes those, and I don't like them myself. And then the more middle you get, it's like either I like it and other people don't, or other people like it and I don't. So I'm taking my own opinion and other people's opinion into account. Except for like Alpha Team. I mean, that one I have such a strong prejudice towards Alpha Team that I just went ahead and put it S tier. Yeah, so this is my list. Let me know if you think it's pretty good, what I should change, and if I should do more of these ranking videos in the future.